Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today's video is all about seeds you can direct sow in May. We're going to go over about 20 of them. Seeds are the cheapest way to really grow a garden. They're like $2, $3 a pack. I have a seed and garden shop. I sell tomato and pepper seeds $1.75 a pack. All other seeds are $1.50. Seeds will last for years. Just put them in a container like this. You could stick them in the refrigerator if you want. Mine just sit out just like this in the house. And again, they'll last for years. Direct seeding is really pennies a plant. When you go to buy transplants, they can cost, in a big box stores, $4, $5, even $6 a plant. That's just way too much money, especially for things like cucumbers, zucchini, squash, butternut squash, warm weather crops. That's what you can really plant now. When the temperatures get to 50 degrees regularly at night or higher, 10 degrees Celsius or warmer, the days get to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit and warmer. That's about 21 degrees Celsius. It's perfect for direct seeding. These plants germinate really quickly, they grow better than transplants, and it'll save you a lot of money. I'm going to show you a bunch of growth examples. Let's go and walk my garden. And just to clarify, generally speaking, you have cool weather crops. They like colder temperatures. When it gets warm, they bolt. But there's a lot of cool weather crops that can also be planted when it's warm in May and even in June. Carrots are one of them. These carrots here went in on April 15th. You have plenty of time to plant carrots and maybe put them into a part of your garden that gets a little bit more shade. Maybe it gets closer to 6 hours of sun rather than where the sun comes and bakes down. Leeks are something you can direct seed now. They take a long time to mature. They're going to take over 100 days, but you can grow these into the fall. Those are hopefully my dog prints, or I got a raccoon or something going through here. But you can grow these into the fall and you can direct seed them now. It's a little bit late for peas here in Maryland. You can also try one more quick round of radishes, but I'm gonna get a lot of shade here. Radishes tend to get woody and pithy if you plant them when it's getting warm. They like that cooler temperature. But I don't want you to leave out the cool weather crops because some of them do really well when planted into warmer soil, and they do okay growing through the summer. You can direct seed parsley, you can direct seed basil. These are transplants. The reason you grow transplants is so you can get them, into the garden sooner and you get a harvest sooner. But that doesn't mean you have to, go and grow a parsley transplant and then put it out. Just direct seed it. It grows really well. I'm going to show you a place where I'm growing parsley that I just scattered out there into my perennial flower bed. That's for the butterflies. That just started coming up. Basil, parsley, you can certainly sow Determinate variety tomatoes. These are tiny Tims. Just put the seed into the pocket or into the ground. They're going to be okay. We're going to talk about indeterminate tomatoes too, because you still have time for that actually, and you can direct seed them. These are my GreenStalk garden vertical towers. That's all cool weather crops. If you're interested in picking these up, they have a sale through the 15th for Mother's Day. It's a big sale. Use the link in my video description and the code The Rusted Garden to save an additional $10. And they have free shipping on most orders because you just have to reach $75. But most of these containers will take you to that threshold. You don't have to pay for shipping. This is a perennial bed. I have apple trees in here, perennial flowers, all kinds of different things growing, really for the birds and pollinators and all that. Here's a bunch of parsley where I just scattered the seeds in. You can see it's just popping up everywhere. Buying a $4 parsley plant, $4 basil plant doesn't really do a whole lot. Put in the seeds. And then you'll have seeds that you can plant every 3-4 weeks in your garden. You'll have an endless supply of parsley, endless supply of basil. Again, a couple bucks a pack, they're gonna last for years. You can direct seed beets. Now the plants that I'm showing you were planted when the ground was cooler, because some of these are cool weather crops. And the beets looking wonderful. Beets can go into the ground now, put them into the part of your garden that gets a little bit more shade, and they will do well through the summer. I grow beets all summer long and into the fall. They do get beat up with the summer sun. Diseases sometimes roll in, but the beet stays strong. The leaves come back when the disease cycle goes away, and you'll be able to harvest beets really through the entire summer and into the fall. These are tomatoes that I started in my greenhouse on March 26th, and they're a good size. They need a little bit of fertilizer. I've been putting them out in my garden, but just take note of the size of the plants here. And again, they've been growing, about 5, almost 6 weeks in my greenhouse. This is a grouping of some of those tomatoes. Aunt Ruby's German Green. That is a giant Belgium. And this plant here, self-seeded from Brandywine. You can tell by the leaf that it's some sort of Brandywine. It might be a Brandywine red, might be a Brandywine yellow, but look at the size of the plant. Much more green than the ones that I transplanted. Size, very similar. This guy popped up about 2 weeks ago. Your direct seeded plants, tomatoes in this case, will really grow quickly with warm soil, temperatures that I gave you, and they do really well. For some reason, we think that we have to spend a lot of time growing transplants indoors. I'm doing an experiment over here. These tomatoes right there are huge. They were planted and grown inside and taken care of for about 12 weeks, and then some other bigger transplants. However, just because those are large doesn't mean you can't put a seed in now. That plant's gonna really grow quickly and you're gonna get tomatoes this year. So you haven't really missed the point to direct seed your determinate variety tomatoes or your indeterminate tomatoes. So here are some of my cool weather crops. It's a little bit too late for lettuce. That'll be planted again in the fall. Please subscribe. I'll show you all the cool weather crops you can plant in August for your fall garden. You can direct seed kale right now. Kale will grow through the summer. This is a dwarf curled variety. Really like it. Over here are collard greens. Collard greens may bolt when it's warm, but you can plant them as seeds and you're going to get some beautiful greens through the summer. Sometimes, again, we think, you know, cool weather crop, okay, it's summer, we can't grow it. Collards will do okay. Kale will do really well. And if you want to try a green, lettuce you can't do, but that's Endive. Endive in the shadier part of your garden will grow really through June and into early July. It doesn't bolt as quickly as lettuce, and you're gonna have some really nice greens. I am in a process of putting mulch down in my garden, and if you want to watch the Rusted Garden Show, that's a long video, almost an hour, twice a month, formerly called Garden Ramblings. I will just show you what I'm doing in the garden, give you updates on all the different plants and different videos that you see. So today is May 7th. These are cucumbers that went in on April 22nd. National Pickling. They're up, they're doing well. No need to buy $3, $4, $5 transplanted cucumber plants. These are so much more healthy than a transplant, 9 times out of 10. Just put in the 2 seeds, let them grow. Same thing with squash. This is a Black Beauty zucchini. You know, squash or zucchini, same thing. You can put in now. I'm not gonna have 2 plants in there. I just like putting in 2 seeds. And if, you know, both come up, you're gonna have to remove one. But I don't like putting in 1 seed and then you're waiting around for a seed to germinate that's not going to. But zucchini, squash, cucumbers, direct seed them. And I plant these in May, April, May. I plant them again middle of June. I plant them again in July. And I just continually plant cucumbers and zucchini. A plant, you know, if we went to the big box stores, 4, 8, 12 bucks right there. I can get 3 packs, or I can get actually 2 packs of seeds. Cucumbers, zucchini for about $4 or $5. They're gonna last 3, 4, 5 years. Pennies a plant in comparison to buying transplants. I already mentioned radishes, and they do have to go in the shadier part of your garden. It's a little tight right now for radishes, but you could give them a try. You can also eat the greens, but I wanted to show you the 2 plants here. Sunflower, giant mammoth. Sunflower, it's gonna get about 12 feet tall. You can direct seed any sunflower right now. Don't buy them, you know, as transplants. It's just not worth it. I'm gonna keep, you know, stressing that. Certain plants, great as transplants. Certainly support your local nursery. Don't go to the big box stores. They're too expensive, and those plants are really stressed out. But you can direct sow any sunflower, number 1. Number 2, they do really well when they're direct seeded. Other plants you can direct sow are watermelon, cantaloupe, and pumpkins. Similar plants do extremely well. I recommend putting 2 or 3 seeds, thinning them down to the amount that you want in that space. And again, please subscribe and follow me. I'll be doing a full trellising video. The sugar babies are going to grow up this A-frame, and then on here I have different tiers, just made from some stuff I got at Home Depot on sale. I think they were just for like a border or something like that. Anyway, when the melons grow through here, anything that's forming is just going to sit on this rack. I don't need to support it. The racks will support the melons. So many different ways to grow food. Again, please subscribe. I'll show you how to do that. But definitely plant, direct seed your melons, pumpkins, cantaloupe, and related. Again, pennies a plant. You'll get enough in those seed packs to last you a good 4 or 5 years. Now these are bunching onions, spring onions from last year, and I'm letting them grow. I'm gonna be collecting the seeds, but you can put down your spring onions, your bunching onions, different than regular onions. It's too late now to direct seed onions here in Maryland Zone 7, but your spring onions you can just put down. You'll get beautiful onions like this, probably in about 70 days. And again, they don't form that, nice onion bowl, but great onion flavor. Bunching onions, spring onions, perfect to direct seed now. Here is another example of beets. That's my second round. Plants are smaller, doing really well. Again, they're gonna get beat up with the summer heat, but they tend to do really, really well. First round of leeks, they're much larger than what I just showed you. These are put in February 25th. They're gonna grow really quickly now that it's warming up. Now these are overseeded. I'll be digging these up and thinning them out. But there's a lot of vegetables we just get in our mind that we can't plant or we can't direct seed because it's too warm or they're not gonna grow quickly enough from seed. That's how nature intended it. When plants get the right temperatures, they take off, they accelerate, they grow really, really quickly. And I don't think you'd be disappointed. If you're not sure, try out a few different things that maybe you wouldn't direct sow normally. See how they do, take notes. But again, you're gonna save yourself so much money by direct seeding your crops. And then when you buy a pack of seeds, you can just put those plants in every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and plant through disease and pest cycles that come in the summer. One plant where people waste money is buying bean transplants. Again, $4 a plant. There's 4 plantings here. Gonna thin them down to 1 plant each. That would be $4, $8, $12, $16. These are put in the ground on April 15th. About 3 weeks later, they look beautiful. Direct seed your pole beans, and they're gonna climb up this huge trellis, and direct seed your bush beans. Bush beans you can direct seed several times. Same with pole beans. But remember, 16 bucks if you buy transplants, $2, $3 a pack for some beans, and they're gonna last, again, for years. Here's another place I'm growing cucumbers, and these were put in on 4/15. I put a lot of stuff in the middle of April because it really got warm here, and the 10-15 day outlook was really for those 50-degree nights, 70-degree days, 10 degrees Celsius, 21 degrees Celsius. Cucumber plants, you can't beat that. You can't buy transplants that look that good. I put in 4 groupings, gonna thin those down to 1 plant each. But they went in on April 15th. Again, I don't know, 3 weeks or so. They just look wonderful. Another plant that you can plant are seed potatoes, or potatoes. You can get them from your grocery store, organic store. You can actually put potatoes in now. Growing into the heat, the potato might not get as large as you want, but you'll still get potatoes. It's potatoes back here, potatoes in the container. So you can actually put in potatoes in May. I just want to show you the sunflowers right here. There's a bunch of them. I don't know, there's like probably 8 or 10 in this area. They self-seeded. The plants from last year dropped seeds when the birds were eating them. Somewhere in the beginning of April, they popped. They even took a little bit of a frost. They were fine because they could establish beautiful roots. And that's the beauty of direct seeding or direct sowing. The root system's really established nicely, and they set up to have beautiful upper green growth. When we grow transplants, sometimes we grow small root systems and big plants, and the ratio is a little bit messed up. And when we put the transplants in, the plants struggle a little bit. Direct seeding, those plants very often catch up to a transplant because they establish a wonderful root system. Coming over here, we have Swiss chard, Bright Lights variety. You can direct seed those now. Again, they may get beat up a little bit in the summer. Put them in maybe the shadier spot of your garden. But even if the leaves get beat up, the plant survives and it comes back as soon as the temperature's cool, and you're gonna have beautiful Swiss chard greens. Another herb you can direct seed is dill. This is doing beautifully. I just cut it and used some of that last night. That's parsley. What I don't have in here is cilantro. Cilantro is great to direct seed. Does prefer the cool weather, bolts a little bit in the warm weather, but you can just rotate in every 3-4 weeks some cilantro seeds. You can also put in fennel. So a lot of your tender herbs that can't take a frost, can be put in now. And I really do recommend not buying the transplants. Again, it'd be $4 for the parsley, $4 for the basil, $4 for the cilantro, $12. For $6 to $8, you can buy those seeds. They'll last for years, and you can keep planting. If you get into the habit of really direct seeding you're gonna save a ton of money and your plants are gonna be so much more healthy. Here are more beets, but what I wanted to show you was the cilantro and dill that I just scattered into a space. I forgot that it was over here. But the cilantro looks wonderful. Dill looks good. Again, direct seeding, I'll say it one more time, it's gonna save you a lot of money and the seeds really last. And I'm kind of trying to deprogram myself and hopefully give you guys some information that's valuable, is we don't have to buy transplants for everything. Certain plants, yes. Certain reasons, yes. Short growing seasons, yes, transplants are great to grow and I enjoy growing them. But a lot of the plants, buy the seeds, direct sow. Corn is a crop that should always be direct seeded. It does kind of actually make me angry when I go to the big box stores and I see like 4 corn stalks, I guess, coming out of a cup, $4 or $5, and people buy that and try and plant it. Maybe it'll grow, probably it'll grow. Are you gonna get beautiful corn? Maybe. But corn really needs to be planted in a square. And I plant mine a lot more closely together. I have videos on this that I did years back. When the wind blows, the tassels up top drop the pollen into all the corn silks. That fertilizes the ear of corn. You get a beautiful ear of corn. So you need a lot of it. If I was trying to buy transplants for corn, I'm gonna spend probably 75 bucks for this space. It just doesn't make sense. So I put the corn in on April 15th. Again, today's around May 7th. A lot of it didn't come up. It's starting to come up in different places, but I reseeded in there. Again, pennies a plant, drop in the corn. You got time, you can put that in now. You can put it in end of May, even in beginning of June. Corn is related to grass. It's going to grow nicely. Just keep it really well watered. But please don't buy corn transplants. Direct sow them. You'll be happy. Thanks so much for watching. Please follow me. I'll teach you how to grow food, save money, have some fun. And when you see my garden, it's always in transition. It's what a real gardener's garden looks like. I don't spruce it up just for videos. It doesn't always look like an HGTV video. It's going to look a little bit nicer once I get the mulch out. But gardening is usually done around full-time jobs, taking care of a family. So I like showing my garden as it really is, just so that you don't feel bad when you think a garden's supposed to be perfect. It's always in transition. I'll be doing videos on pruning tomatoes, caring for them. Just about everything I do in a garden, I do in real time. So as I'm doing it here in Maryland, you can adjust based on your climate and garden along with me. I have a seed and garden shop where my tomato and pepper seeds are $1.75 a pack. All other seeds are $1.50. Thanks so much for watching.